See these 65-year-old women videos going viral where they say, I walked with the feminist. I bought into the argument of being a feminist. Man was an enemy in my life. I'm 65 years old. I've never been married. I have no kids. I will never be able to experience what it is to be married to a man when I was in my 20s. The concept of feminism stole that away from me. Just because I looked at man as the enemy, and he's not.
A woman called me. She said, I'm 50 years old. I have 3 degrees. I'm a very successful entrepreneur, CEO. And I want you to know, Dennis, that I deeply regret that I followed the feminist advice at college. Because when I come home after a successful day at work to an empty home, no husband, no children, no family, it's not good.
Patrick Bet Davis recalls a 65-year-old woman regretting her life's choices and sharing how feminism taught her that men were the enemy. And because of that, the woman never got married, never had any kids, and only realized when she was older how she'd missed out on the most important aspect of life, which is having a family of her own, having a man by her side, and raising her own children. She basically said that feminism gives women the wrong ideas about the world, about the role of men in women's lives, and how wrong it was to take away a whole side of life that women often forget is the most important for everyone to experience. Then we have a 50-year-old woman who shares that she has 3 degrees, she's extremely successful as an entrepreneur and CEO, and she deeply regrets following feminist advice in her 20s. She regrets it because, after her successful day at work, when she comes home to an empty place where there's no husband and there are no children, she doesn't feel happy. She feels as if she's messed up. She feels lonely and angry at the fact that now she's 50 and really doesn't have the chance to find a husband, have children, and raise them. She feels like her life doesn't have any meaning and that she has no purpose. After all the success she's had, she feels that there isn't anything else except work to look forward to. She doesn't have anyone to go on vacations with, celebrate birthdays with, or share her joys and sorrows with. She sees people around her with families having joyful times together, celebrating each other, watching the children grow, being there for their partners, and having a lot of love in their lives. That being said, if I could give any of the younger women out there any advice, it would be this. In your youth, choose a man to settle down with. Because beauty is on your side when you're young. Age is on your side, but in 10 years, it won't be the same. Some women in their late 30s or even early 40s wish to settle down and have kids. To them, I can only say that you're 42, or in some cases 45. Your window for becoming pregnant is almost over. You can encounter all types of issues, such as high-risk pregnancies. IVF therapy is frequently required to induce pregnancy. The most crucial thing younger women can do is show interest in a man's future rather than his current financial situation, because it will be difficult to find a man your age who is a millionaire if you're 23. Someone who fits this description may be in his late 30s or early 40s. But if you want to start a life, look for a person who has a promising future. Guys are more interested in a woman's background. What did her history look like? Does she have many affairs under her belt? Men have to add value. They must develop their own identity. If a woman is going to compromise and climb the corporate ladder, and then at 42 decides she's ready to have children, she will have a difficult time finding a man since many men are not interested. Women need to maintain their value and make sure that they give something of value to a guy. They are more drawn to someone who is more likable, younger, and has lesser baggage. So, it is what we've been saying all along. Sooner or later, women are going to realize how they listened to the wrong advice, and how they wasted their lives trying to chase corporate careers and businesses. Like the examples we saw in the clips shared at the beginning of this video, older women realize this and understand why it is important for a woman to have a family early on in her life, find a partner, have children, and grow with her family so that she has meaning and purpose in her life. Because what happens is that when women only focus on their careers, they miss out on a more intrinsic purpose that nature intended for them. The purpose comes with having a man in her life and having her own children. I say it again and again, and I'll say it still. Nature intended for man to be a provider and a protector. And if you look around the world at any given time in history, whenever man has tried to deviate from that, he's been miserable. The same goes for women. If women ignore and neglect what the universe and nature had in store for them, which is to care for their man, raise their children, and nurture their family, then she's been miserable. There's a reason women have the ultimate power to bring life to this world, and men don't. There's a reason men are physically stronger than women. That's not just some sort of fault. That's how nature intended it, and there's a reason nature intended it. Feminism has really made it impossible for women to grasp these ideas because it constantly bombards women with this thought that they need to be independent, and that they don't need any men in their lives. Feminism uses popular culture, such as movies, television series, documentaries, talk shows, the news, books, music, comic books, podcasts, social media, and social media influencers to perpetuate this thought that a woman who spends her prime years laboring in offices and building wealth are real women, and that they're the women every other woman should follow the example of. What happens is that when these women reach the age of 40, they realize they're already past their biological clocks and will probably not be having children anymore. With this, they keep repeating the same mantra that they don't need any men in their lives, but as the years go by, they start to realize they really don't have any purpose in life. And the companies they've been laboring away for don't really care about them because they can fire or lay off these women at any given time. The biggest example of this is the recent tech layoffs that we say in the United States, and then consequently the rest of the world. And so, it's only then, when they know they cannot go back in time and do this over again, they realize how they'd wasted away their lives solely concentrating on money, building wealth, investing, and chasing corporate ladders. They realize all the money they have now in their bank accounts, they don't even have anyone to spend that money on. They don't know what to do with their investment, except perhaps make more and earn more. They don't have any children to pass it on. They don't have any children to pass on their knowledge, wisdom, and all the things they learned in life. The only thing they did in their lives was live to make money, and sure, that's something they did. But then what? Thousands of other people do that as well. When those people die, they're forgotten in a matter of days and months. They don't even have anyone to visit their graves. They're literally forgotten. Even the companies they worked for all of their lives replace them within a month or two. Sure, they might have coworkers and friends, but all of them are busy living their lives and making memories with their partners and their children. So, it is absolutely crucial for modern women around the world to realize that life's not just about making money, generating wealth, starting businesses, and climbing the corporate ladder. Because women have the leverage of not doing any of that and still live the best lives with their partners who are happy to be providers, and even happier when they have wives who give birth to beautiful children. And together, they raise their families. I think there's a reason people were happier back in the day, and I think that the reason was that people used to stick to certain roles in life and not get worked up on chasing things that they weren't meant to chase. I really hope modern women identify that feminism is selling them something they're not going to be happy about later in their lives. What are your thoughts on this, guys? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us some love and support by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel.